Dogs, cats, and goldfish are great, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you just want something that isn't so common. In this video, we're exploring the world of unusual and downright bizarre animals that some people keep as pets, or at least have in the past. These unique animals will not only have you questioning everything you thought you knew about pets, but perhaps it will expand your knowledge of the vast animal kingdom. We're pretty sure that not only have you not heard of these species being kept as pets, you've probably never even heard of them. Let's jump right in. And speaking of jumping, our first animal is the brush-tailed Bettle, a small marsupial often called the rat kangaroo due to its size and adorable hopping gait. They are also called woylie by the indigenous people who live where they are found. Native to Australia, these bipedal mammals are nocturnal creatures that dig for roots, tubers, and fungi, playing an important role in their ecosystem by aerating the soil. Yes, these neat little creatures are practically a mini wallaby that can live within a household. These animals are surprisingly clean and can adapt to life in captivity with proper care. They don't even drink water in the wild, instead getting all the hydration they need from their food. Their wild diet might sound very intimidating. These creatures eat primarily fungus. However, their captive diet is much easier to find and consists of various fruits, vegetables, and commercial kangaroo diets. Like their kangaroo relatives, they have strong hind legs and long claws that might pack a punch if they scrape your skin. They also use their tails for balance. Bettongs are highly social, so they thrive best around others of their own kind. But keep in mind, they require plenty of space to accommodate their wide-ranging movements. They need to be able to move freely, but also have enough room for enriching cage furnishings. In the wild, they live 4 to 6 years. However, like other marsupials, they tend to live longer in captivity, making pet ownership as beneficial for them, as they are incredible to interact with. The downside to owning Bettongs, though, they are extremely rare in captivity, with only a few breeders having produced them. What's worse, they are critically endangered, pretty much moving them from a potentially great pet to a pretty poor choice, unfortunately. For now, efforts should be made to expand their populations, so they can at least be well represented in captivity. Next up are the tenrecs, a fascinating and unique group of animals exclusively native to Madagascar. Though they resemble hedgehogs, tenrecs are unrelated and come in a surprising variety of shapes and sizes, some spiky, others smooth, some tiny, others relatively large. At least 3 species have been kept as pets. Their close resemblance to the popularly kept hedgehogs is yet another stunning example of convergent evolution, or species that take on similar physical traits despite different evolutionary paths. These nocturnal mammals feed on insects, other small invertebrates, and occasionally some fruit. Tenrecs are quite unique. One could consider them to be bizarre. One really interesting feature of one species, the streaked tenrec, is their ability to communicate to other individuals using ultrasonic sounds, or stridulation, which they produce by rubbing specialized spines together. Some tenrecs can even enter a state of environmentally induced torpor to conserve energy, a process that is normally dangerous for other captive animals like hedgehogs and hamsters, but tolerable for them to undergo while living indoors. Like most species, they need specific temperatures and environments to stay healthy, and despite the lack of genetic relation, a lot of their care is surprisingly similar to hedgehogs. This makes this wonderfully weird creature a very practical species to keep for those who are new to the world of owning non-traditional exotic pets. Before we get to the number 3 animal on our list, it's worth mentioning again that there is no such thing as an animal that is a suitable pet for everyone, especially when it comes to the species on this list. That should go without saying. Meet the Asian palm civet, a lesser-known mammal often associated with the world's most expensive coffee, Kopi Luwak. Civets eat coffee cherries, and the beans they excrete are used to produce this luxury drink. But there's so much more to these creatures, as they are sometimes said to make enjoyable pets. The Asian palm civet might look like some dangerous wild creature, but in other countries, there are actually domesticated populations that even come in color variants. Many of these pets are tame enough to ride around on their owner's shoulders, exhibiting a desirable temperament when compared to other members of the Vivaridae family. Normally somewhat solitary in the wild, these animals can become quite gregarious when raised and socialized in captivity, even getting along with other species such as lemurs and servals. However, they are agile climbers, spending spending much of their time in trees, so this must be accommodated in captivity. As an energetic, larger mammal, they require plenty of space and mental stimulation. As omnivores, they are relatively easy to feed. Fruits and a recommended commercial diet for similar species will do. They're curious and intelligent, often compared to cats in their behavior, but of course, don't expect them to behave like cats and dogs because they are civets. Caring for a civet requires a sufficient understanding of their needs, but for pet lovers who enjoy a possible challenge, they can make fascinating companions. You've probably never heard of the zorilla, but maybe it seems less strange if you go by its other name, the striped weasel. Actually, they are commonly called striped polecats, but are known as Libyan or African weasels in the United States exotic pet trade. However, they are a member of the weasel family. It is a small carnivore that might, on first appearance, resemble the ferrets we're much more familiar with. However, once you get a load of its striking black and white pattern, you'll realize this is no ordinary mustelid, which is relatively new to the pet trade. Found in parts of sub-Saharan Africa, these animals are animated and strong-willed, with the boundless energy you'd expect from any animal with weasel in its name. As one of the smallest true carnivores in Africa, striped weasels are natural hunters, preying on rodents, birds, and insects in the wild. About the size of a ferret, they may seem like a more practical pet option. However, you may have noticed they resemble skunks, and while there's no relation, they actually do spray when threatened. Thankfully, tame individuals shouldn't pose this threat to owners, and one owner has suggested they aren't even as musky as ferrets. However, do striped weasels behave like ferrets? One owner says they do not, although their care is similar. In addition, one rescued individual who was kept as a pet had an issue with rough play biting that started to break the skin. Their bold personalities make them unforgettable pets, but only for owners who can tolerate such unpleasant nipping and higher levels of aggression than more commonly owned animals. And now, last but not least, we have the terce. Just what the heck is a terce? It looks kind of like a wolverine, crossed with a monkey, and even a black bear. These large omnivorous members of the Mustelidae, or weasel family, hail from the tropics of Central and South America. Yes, they are related to ferrets, but they vary from them quite dramatically, as you can see. Terce are probably mostly solitary animals, although they've sometimes been observed in groups in the wild, and they benefit from companionship in captivity. As arboreal animals, they are excellent climbers and use their sharp claws and strong tails to navigate trees effortlessly. People who own terce are obviously in for a challenge and need to provide a spacious, secure enclosure customized to their needs. In addition to climbing, they may also prefer opportunities to dig. In the wild, they are omnivores, eating everything from fruit and insects while also opportunistically hunting small mammals. In fact, searching for food is pretty much their thing, so it's even more important for these animals to have daily novel enrichment. But do people really own terce? While they can be purchased, most people who would dare do so are usually very experienced with larger exotic animals and probably have licensed facilities. With their boundless energy, destructive tendencies, and playful demeanor, terce are truly one-of-a-kind pets, but only for those prepared to meet their high care demands. And there you have it. 5 bizarre animals that have been kept as pets that you've probably never heard of. Please keep in mind that the species listed in this video are not all readily available and are usually only offered to experienced keepers or those with special licenses when they are. Always do your research before considering unusual pets that have less research and information on them available. Which one of these bizarre pets was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content like this. See you next time, and remember to see pets differently.